This is the most expensive home ever sold in the entire state of California. Now, not only this, they are keeping their $100 million home they already have. That's gonna be a weekend home.
Across the globe, a select group of Black women have built fortunes so massive they own estates worth hundreds of millions, fly in jets that cost more than skyscrapers, and can drop the price of a small country on a single piece of jewelry without hesitation. They've turned talent into empires, risk into reward, and passion into power. Join us as we step inside the extraordinary world of the richest Black women alive. Number 10. Beyonce. Beyonce is not just a superstar. She's a one-woman empire worth around $780 million, and every cent came from relentless hard work and sharp business moves. Her tours alone are like printing money. In 2023, the Renaissance World Tour pulled in roughly $579 million. Then came her Cowboy Carter Tour, which didn't just sell out. It became the highest-grossing country tour of all time, raking in over $400 million from 32 packed stadiums. That's not luck. That's turning raw star power into unstoppable cash flow.
She's had chart-topping hits that debuted at #1. She is Beyonce.
And she knows exactly how to enjoy it. In Los Angeles, she and Jay-Z dropped $88 million on a Bel Air estate that sits on about 2 acres, with 4 outdoor pools, a basketball court, private staff quarters, and a garage big enough for 15 cars. Across the country, in East Hampton, their pond house spans about 12,000 square feet, with 7 bedrooms and more than 200 feet of private waterfront along Georgica Pond. Perfect for peace, privacy, and sunsets. And in 2023, they broke records in California with a $200 million Malibu mansion designed by world-famous architect Tadao Ando. On red carpets, she wears jewelry worth more than most people's homes. At the 2018 Grammys, she stepped out in $6.8 million worth of Lorraine Schwartz diamonds, and her tour looks often feature custom Tiffany & Co. pieces.
Power couple both wearing black, Beyonce rocking a hat, and $6.8 million worth of Lorraine Schwartz jewelry.
When Beyonce travels, she doesn't just get from point A to point B, she does it in full luxury. She once reportedly gave Jay-Z a Bombardier Challenger 850 private jet worth around $40 million. Basically, a high-end apartment with wings. On the water, they've sailed the Galactica Star, a 213-foot super yacht that used to rent for nearly $900,000 a week. And parked in her garage are icons like a 1959 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud II convertible, a birthday gift from Jay-Z that screams old-school money. But it's not all about luxury. She puts big money back into communities. Through her Bay Good Foundation, she helped raise over $6 million for Flint's water crisis, funded scholarships for students at historically Black colleges after her homecoming project, and worked with UNICEF to bring clean water to communities in Burundi. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she teamed up with the NAACP to give grants to struggling Black-owned small businesses. Every phase of her career has one thing in common. She controls the stage, controls the story, and makes sure she owns the equity. That's the secret that keeps her winning, year after year. Number 9. Rihanna.
It's time once again for day drinking, and we're really excited about this one because I'm here with Rihanna.
Hi.
Yeah!
Rihanna has taken her music career and turned it into a billion-dollar business machine. As of June 2025, Forbes estimates her net worth at about $1 billion. That is down roughly 30% from the year before, but it still places her among the wealthiest names in entertainment. Most of her fortune comes from companies she co-founded and still owns a major share of. Her biggest moneymaker is Fenty Beauty, created with luxury giant LVMH. Rihanna owns about half of it, and in its very first full year, The brand made more than $550 million in sales. The success came from a simple but powerful idea.
I love finding the things that people don't really know. But you just have to go looking, and that's my favorite thing to do.
Offering makeup shades that worked for everyone, no matter their skin tone. In 2024, she expanded into hair care with Fenty Hair, a line focused on repairing and strengthening hair. Priced so it could be sold in mainstream stores. Lingerie is her second major brand. Savage X Fenty reached a valuation of $1 billion after raising $115 million in funding. In 2023, Rihanna stepped into the role of executive chair and brought in Hilary Super, the former CEO of Anthropologie, to lead the company. Financial experts have even talked about taking the brand public, with a possible value close to $3 billion. Her influence also boosts her brands every time she's in the spotlight. When she performed the Super Bowl halftime show in 2023, about 118.7 million people watched, causing an instant jump in her music streams and a spike in searches for her brands. That same year, she relaunched her partnership with Puma, bringing back the Creeper Fatty sneakers, which quickly sold out. Her real estate deals are as sharp as her business moves. In Beverly Hills, she bought a home above Coldwater Canyon for $13.8 million. The 7,600 square foot property was later rented out for $80,000 a month, turning it into income. Soon after, she bought the house next door for $10 million and eventually sold it for around $10.3 million. In Century City, she purchased a full-floor penthouse once owned by actor Matthew Perry for $21 million.
Miss Rihanna has dished out a cool for a new place, formerly owned by Friends star Matthew Perry.
Then listed it a year later for $25 million. Back in Barbados, she owns a 10,000 square foot beachfront condo at 1 Sandy Lane, reportedly worth $22 million. It comes with 5 ensuite bedrooms, private terraces, a gym, and full concierge service. When she does not stay in her own homes, she rents in true superstar style, spending $415,000 for a single month in the Hamptons with a $1 million deposit, $25,000 a week for a Victorian mansion in London, or $50,000 a month for a Manhattan penthouse with a wraparound terrace. Her taste in fashion and jewelry is just as bold.
Rihanna finally on the red carpet at the Met Gala, and she is making it official with A$AP Rocky Rihanna!
At the Super Bowl, she wore over $1 million worth of pieces from Messika and Jacob & Co. A few months later, during Pharrell's first Louis Vuitton show in Paris, she revealed a custom Jacob & Co. watch choker worth about $670,000, turning a flying tourbillon watch into a necklace and sending social media into a frenzy. She drives top-end cars, including a Porsche 911 Turbo S she received after signing with Roc Nation, valued at around $160,700 at the time. On holidays, she charters yachts, like the 143-foot futuristic catamaran she used in Cannes this year, renting for nearly $397,000 a week before extra costs. Her generosity is just as big as her spending. Since 2012, her Clara Lionel Foundation has given more than $100 million in grants, recently expanding its focus to climate action, women's entrepreneurship, healthcare, arts, and youth programs. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she teamed up with Jack Dorsey to give $4.2 million to domestic violence shelters in Los Angeles and sent $5 million to global relief. In 2022, she committed $15 million to climate justice groups. And in 2021, her home country of Barbados honored her as a national hero, officially giving her the title the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty.
We therefore present to you the designee for National Hero of Barbados, Ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty.
Number 8. Serena Williams. Serena Williams turned one of the most dominant tennis careers in history into a fortune that continues to grow even after leaving the sport.
I'm playing professional tennis. I'm literally training 5 hours a day.
Her net worth sits at about $350 million, built from nearly $95 million in prize money, decades of top-tier endorsements, and a venture capital portfolio she built from scratch. She holds the open-era record with 23 Grand Slam singles titles. And that unmatched success is the foundation for everything else she's achieved. Through Serena Ventures, she raised $111 million and invested in over a dozen companies now valued at more than $1 billion each. She also launched White and Beauty, which landed on Ulta's national shelves immediately. Her main residence is a custom-built waterfront estate in Florida, designed by her sister Venus's design firm, V-Star. Instead of a typical living room, it has an art gallery, plus a trophy room, a hidden karaoke lounge, a sauna, a wine cellar, and an infinity pool overlooking the water. It feels like a private luxury retreat built around her life story.
I find it really cool. So I was like, what if I had a formal living room, but instead of it being a living room, it's called an art gallery?
In Los Angeles, she bought a 6,000-square-foot Beverly Hills home for $6.7 million and later listed it for $7.5 million. Before that, she sold her longtime Bel Air estate for $8.1 million. She spends big when it comes to privacy and unforgettable experiences. For her honeymoon, she booked a private villa on Kamalamié Cay in the Bahamas for about $35,000 per week. Her wedding dress was a custom Alexander McQueen gown, reported to cost about $3.5 million. On her wrist, she's worn an Audemars Piguet diamond outrage covered in more than 65 carats of diamonds and valued at around $1.25 million, along with several Royal Oak watches. When she travels, it's often on a private jet, even for work trips, making sure she can move without the hassle of crowds. Her choice of cars matches her image. As Aston Martin's chief sporting officer, she promoted the Vanquish, which sold for around $300,000 when new. Later, she became the face of Lincoln's Navigator campaign, with the 2018 model starting at roughly $73,000 and climbing past $100,000 for the black label trim. Serena also puts money into sports teams she loves. She and Venus have owned a minority stake in the Miami Dolphins since 2009.
From Stephen, when we had a chance to be a co-owner, we thought, wow, this is a great opportunity for us. We love the Dolphins.
She co-owns Los Angeles Golf Club in Tiger Woods' tech-driven golf league, and she's part of the ownership group for women's soccer team Angel City FC, where her daughter, Olympia, is listed as a co-owner. Away from business, she's married to Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit, and they're raising their daughters, Olympia and Adira, while splitting time between Florida and the West Coast. Number 7. Folarunso Alakija. Folarunso Alakija went from running a fashion house in Lagos to building one of the most powerful oil businesses in Nigeria, and then turned that success into a portfolio that could fill a skyline.
The minute you make a covenant with God, you have to fulfill yours because He will always fulfill His part.
Her fortune is estimated at around $1 billion, built mainly through FAMFA Oil, where she serves as executive vice chairman. Her big break came in 1993, when her company secured rights to Deepwater Block OPL 216. In 2004, it was reclassified as OML 127 and merged with a neighboring block over the massive Agbami Reservoir. By 2008, oil was flowing, and the money was pouring in. After years of legal battles over government back-in rights, the Nigerian Supreme Court ruled in 2012 to overturn a federal claim on the asset. Industry reports say FAMFA's share of OML 127 and Agbami is about 60%, earning her the nickname Black Gold Billionaire.
At the time that they got the license. So because they're men, they have two heads. Is it fair on womanhood?
In Lagos, some of that fortune is hard to miss. Her company built the sleek, curved Central Point Tower in Ikoyi, better known as the Famfa Tower, reportedly costing $165 million. The Grade A office building rises about 20 stories, covers roughly 235,000 square feet, and commands some of the highest rents in the city. It is a long-term cash generator. In 2023, she widened her reach by acquiring 6 offshore oil blocks in Sierra Leone, showing she is still looking for new opportunities beyond Nigeria. Her lifestyle reflects her position. She is said to own a Bombardier Global Express XRS private jet with the registration VPCEO. On the current market, these jets sell for between $13 and $17 million pre-owned, with yearly operating costs around $4.8 million for about 450 flight hours. That is roughly $10,700 for every hour in the air, paying for speed, privacy, and flexibility. On the oil front, Chevron continues to operate Agbami, one of Nigeria's largest deep-water fields, which once produced around 250,000 barrels of oil a day. When production is high and prices are strong, Famfa's share delivers huge profits. She also invests heavily in people. Through her Rose of Sharon Foundation, she has given interest-free loans and scholarships to widows and orphans across Nigeria, supporting more than 4,262 widows and helping over 1,700 children and more than 300 orphans complete their education. As part of the Agbami Medical and Engineering Scholarships Program, Famfa has helped over 16,000 Nigerian students, with each receiving between 100,000 and 200,000 naira per year. She also launched the Flourish Africa Grant Program for women entrepreneurs, pledging 1 billion naira over several years. So far, 200 million naira has been awarded to 200 women, along with training to ensure their businesses can grow and last. This is wealth that fuels more than luxury. It creates lasting change. Number 6. Hajia Bola Shagaya. Hajia Bola Shagaya went from selling photographic supplies to building one of the largest fortunes in Africa. Business AM estimates her wealth at about $630 million, while Business Day places it close to $1 billion. She first made her mark by importing Konica photographic materials across West Africa, then moved into the oil business as managing director of Factual Limited, one of Nigeria's biggest importers of base oil for lubricant plants. Base oil is the key ingredient in lubricants, and it is a product always in demand, which means steady, predictable income. She also added banking experience to her resume by serving as a non-executive director at Unity Bank. Her lifestyle matches her success. In 2014, she reportedly bought herself a Gulfstream G650 private jet as a birthday gift. The aircraft cost about 11.5 billion naira at the time, roughly $65 to $71 million, and is the same model used by world leaders and top billionaires. Today, a similar Gulfstream G650 or 650 ER costs between $70 and $78 million, and chartering one can run from $11,000 to $19,000 per flight hour. That kind of jet turns a Lagos to London trip into a same-day commute without ever seeing a commercial airport. Her property investments are just as impressive. She is known to own high-value real estate in several major Nigerian cities. In Ikoyi, Lagos, new luxury mansions can list for $3.1 to $3.5 million, over 5 billion naira, while in Asokoro, Abuja, large 6 to 8 bedroom mansions often sell for between $1.1 and $1.5 million, with the most exclusive going much higher. These are the types of private, high-security compounds she is associated with. She has also built a name in the fashion world, maintaining strong ties with the Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria. She is a regular in couture, attends top society events, and sponsors polo tournaments where tables and hospitality packages can reach 6 figures. Number 5. Emma Grede. Emma Grede has a talent for turning business ideas into huge moneymakers. By June 2025, Forbes estimated her net worth at about $405 million, thanks to her role as co-founder and CEO of Good American, founding partner of Skims, and co-founder of Safely. Good American launched with a bang, making $1 million on its very first day and growing to about $200 million a year by 2022, with clothing sizes going up to US 32. Skims has been just as big. It has raised $270 million, reached a value of $4 billion, and expanded into stores worldwide with massive demand. When it comes to spending, Emma is strategic. She and her husband, Jens Grede, quietly bought Brad Pitt and Ellen DeGeneres' former Malibu oceanfront home for around $45 million. She hired top designer Jane Hallworth to transform it with rare furniture, a colorful jelly pea sofa, and a cliffside deck with stunning Pacific Ocean views. Their main home is a Paul R. Williams-designed estate in Bel Air, worth about $24 million. She also flips properties when the time is right, like a London townhouse she listed for £5.5 million, about $6.9 million. Even her side investments are built to make profits. On Shark Tank, she invested $100,000 in Kin Apparel, a satin-lined hoodie brand that has now made millions. On Dragon's Den, she invested £60,000, about $74,000, into Ori Lifestyle, a textured hair care brand, a market where her connections can quickly boost sales. Her charity work is just as intentional. As chair of the 15% Pledge, she helps raise around $3 million in one night to support Black-owned businesses, making sure the money actually helps them grow. Whether in business or giving, Emma plays to win, making every move count and making every dollar work harder. Number 4. Sheila Johnson. Sheila Johnson has turned a sharp business instinct into a fortune now worth about $1.1 billion. And she built it by making sure every big move leads to something bigger. She co-founded Be Eat and later sold it when Viacom came calling with a $2.3 billion stock deal.
America's first Black female billionaire and the co-founder of BET, Sheila Johnson.
That windfall could have been a finish line, but for her, it was just the start. She began buying into high-value assets that could both appreciate and generate steady income, focusing on luxury hospitality, prime real estate, and professional sports. In 2007, she acquired the Innisbrook Resort in Palm Harbor, Florida, a 900-acre property with 4 championship golf courses, including the PGA Tour's Copperhead course, all for $35 million, less than many Manhattan townhouses. In Virginia's horse country, she built the Salamander Resort and Spa from the ground up, a 340-acre estate that opened in 2013 with peak season room rates between $425 and $575 a night. In Washington, D.C., she took over the former Mandarin Oriental on the tidal basin and poured another $35 million into transforming it into Salamander, Washington, D.C.
Sheila Johnson just purchased the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in D.C. It is the latest acquisition,
raising both its profile and revenue potential. At her Virginia resort, she built the residences at Salamander, 49 luxury homes, each starting at nearly $2 million. She also launched the Family Reunion, a top-tier Black food and wine festival where premium tickets cost about $2,529 each. In sports, she made a smart move in 2005 by becoming governor and part owner of the Washington Mystics, which also gave her minority stakes in the Washington Wizards and Capitals. Her Mystics investment alone was about $10 million, and her total share across the teams is estimated at 5 to 10%. Even her travel is planned to save time. She co-owns ProJet Aviation and has both a Gulfstream jet and a Piaggio Avanti II, so she can visit multiple properties and events in just one day. From a media empire payout to trophy resorts, million-dollar homes, cultural festivals, pro sports, and private aviation, every dollar she spends works as hard as she does. Number 3, Dr. Iman Abuzeid. Dr. Iman Abuzeid saw that hospitals were struggling to hire nurses quickly and turned that problem into a billion-dollar business and a huge personal fortune. Forbes says she is worth about $350 million, mostly from her share in Incredible Health, the company she co-founded in 2017. In 2022, the company was valued at $1.65 billion after raising $80 million in funding. Today, it works with about 1,500 hospitals and around 1 million nurses across the United States. The big difference is that instead of nurses applying to hospitals, hospitals apply to nurses. This change cuts hiring time from the old 82 to 95 days down to about 14 to 20 days. That speed can save each hospital between $2 and $5 million every year in extra staffing and HR costs, which is why her stake in the company is so valuable. She handles her money carefully. From March 2020 to May 2024, Incredible Health gave nurses free continuing education courses. From June 1st, 2024, the courses cost $37.50, but all of that money goes to the accreditation partner. Her company doesn't keep a profit from it. Personally, she invests in other businesses instead of spending on luxury items. She usually puts in between $10,000 and $100,000, most often around $50,000. She has invested in companies like Security Pal, part of a $21 million funding round, and Career Karma, part of a $10 million round. These investments put her in early-on companies that could also grow to be worth billions. When she speaks in public, it's to share her mission, not to promote products. She appears at events like the Aspen Ideas Festival and big healthcare conferences. Behind the scenes, she spends on technology, compliance, and recruiting systems that keep the platform strong. Even her choice of office location is strategic. San Francisco, where the best office space costs about $67 per square foot each year, keeping her team close to top talent and big clients. In 2024, she was named to the Time 100 Next list, one of the few Black women to ever lead a billion-dollar startup, showing that Incredible Health is built for long-term success. Number 2, Fawn Weaver. Fawn Weaver took a small history project and turned it into one of the biggest success stories in American whiskey. Today, she's worth about $480 million, thanks to her major stake in Uncle Nearest, a brand now valued at around $1.1 billion. In 2024 alone, it pulled in roughly $100 million in sales. She got there by making smart, calculated moves that always pay off. In Tennessee, she and her husband have been buying up land, more than 800 acres so far, to expand both the business and its story. The Nearest Green Distillery is now a huge 4-phase project costing about $50 million and covering roughly 458 acres. It has everything from production facilities to hospitality and education spaces, making it a place where visitors can stay, learn, and leave with a bottle. She even bought an extra 53.12 acres along Highway 231 for about $2.1 million to grow farm operations and boost tourism. But she doesn't stop at her own company. In 2021, she launched the Uncle Nearest Venture Fund, worth $50 million to back minority-owned spirits brands. Each deal is at least $2 million, aimed at companies that are ready to grow fast. Her community impact is just as intentional. Through the Nearest Green Foundation, she covers full college tuition for every descendant of Nearest Green. She also started an HBCU scholarship campaign aiming to raise about $1.4 million. For every old-fashioned cocktail sold, money goes to the fund, and the brand matches it dollar for dollar. Last year, it nearly hit the $1 million mark. Everything Fawn does, buying land, funding brands, building distilleries, or giving back, is connected. Every move grows her business, strengthens her community, and keeps her winning. Number 1. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey took the fortune she made from her talk show and built it into one of the biggest personal empires in entertainment. As of June 2025, Forbes values her net worth at about $3.1 billion. She made it happen by owning her show outright through Harpo Productions, which gave her control over every deal. From there, she launched the Oprah Winfrey Network and later traded most of her stake for stock in Discovery, which eventually became Warner Brothers Discovery. She keeps her money moving through producer deals and brand investments, and she knows when to step in and when to step out. In 2015, she bought a 10% stake in Weight Watchers, made millions from it, then left the board and gave away her remaining shares in 2024. She also invested in the True Food Kitchen restaurant chain, helping it expand nationwide. Her real estate moves are just as strategic. In Montecito, her estate, known as the Promised Land, covers around 70 acres and is worth well over $100 million after years of buying surrounding properties. This includes a 23-acre equestrian estate she purchased for $28.85 million and Jeff Bridges' 4-acre ranch for $6.85 million. In 2023, she sold a nearby property for about $14.23 million. In Colorado, she owns a $14 million Telluride home with an underground wine cellar called the Wine Mine, a limestone soaking tub worth about $70,000 that stays at the perfect temperature, and a private mining tram lift to the slopes valued at $240,000. She also owns about 66 acres of nearby land, bought for $10.85 million. In Hawaii, she has put together around 1,000 acres across Hana and Kula, including 870 acres she bought in 2023 for $6.6 million, much of it left undeveloped. When she travels, she does it in complete comfort. In early 2025, she bought a Gulfstream G700 private jet. New models cost between $75 and $79 million, and annual operating costs can run between $2.2 and $3.4 million for 200 to 400 hours of flight, about $9,000 per hour before extras. It is a way to save time and avoid the delays and waiting that come with commercial travel. Oprah's giving is just as big as her spending. She has put more than $140 million into the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa and given $25 million in scholarships to Morehouse College. After the Maui wildfires, she co-founded the People's Fund of Maui, which sent $60 million in direct aid within 6 months, giving $1,200 each month to thousands of verified adults. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.